Often I receive requests from customer success and implementation experts that just want to talk shop about how to improve what they're doing, how to get better. And often I tell stories, and a couple of them, as of recent, have reached out and said, "Hey, we're loving your podcast, but you should tell some of the stories that you tell us about how you ended up transforming and reinventing yourself to become better at customer success and implementations." And so I'll tell different stories today that are dear to me, starting off with one that was in the West Coast where I was implementing an agency and the implementation itself went south. They were only a four-seater, but very vocal in the community about what they were doing. And at that time, I had only been implementing for a couple of years, and I really was enamored by the agency and what they were doing in the community. And so when we started the implementation process, when we were going through our task and our milestones, I was asking the organization to complete certain things, and they weren't doing it, or they were delayed at doing it. And, I kept allowing them to push the implementation and push the task. And again, I didn't know that that was the incorrect thing to do, because I felt at the time that I was just appeasing or doing what they wanted to do, or appeasing their timeline. And once we got to the go live, I sent out Ryan Kaizo, which is with Carbine 911 right now, one of the best folks in implementations that I've ever worked with. And he called me. I'll never forget this day, because I was at the airport, and he said, "Ivan, we're in trouble." He said, "This implementation didn't go well, and they're not ready." And I said, "Well, hey, we did all that we were supposed to do. What's going on?" And he said, "Ivan, they're not using the tool." And so he said the mayor was coming, and he said the people were frustrated, the emergency dispatchers, and they were going to tell the mayor that they didn't want to use the tool. He said, "What do you want me to do?" And I said, "Tell the mayor the truth. Tell him that the implementation didn't go well, and tell him that we would like to meet with him." And so I got with the regional account manager, and we talked about the strategy and what we wanted to do, and we decided to own it. Because again, from the implementation standpoint, it is my job to make sure that the implementation moves in the direction that it's supposed to move. And so the mayor actually called me directly and said, "Hey, Ivan, how can you be out here in the next couple of days?" And of course I said yes. So I arrived at the organization, and there were the fire chiefs and police chiefs, and we had a round table, and there were probably about 15 people in the room, all individuals that had some type of title. And the mayor starts going through the implementation process and said, "Ivan, I walked on the floor. This tool is very important to us. What happened during the implementation?" And so I put my head down, and he said, "Nope, I really want you to tell me the truth." And I told him the truth. I told him that, we weren't meeting marks in the implementation, milestones in the implementation like we were supposed to. And so the go live suffered. And he said, "I'm going to give you my card. Would you be willing to re-implement this implementation?" And I said, "Absolutely." And he said, "But this time when you implement," he said, "I want to make sure that everyone in this room understands that whatever you tell them to do, they need to do it. They need to complete that task." And I was a little bit nervous, and he was very serious. And he said, "Because what I saw when I walked on the floor of the dispatch center," he said, "I know that we're better than that." And so the account manager was there by my side, and he said, "Yep, not only will we do this, but we'll do all of it for free." And we ended up re-implementing this agency. And this time I took a different approach, a much stronger personality, not overbearing, but very determined to get everything done in the way that it was supposed to be. This story is significant. This agency now is an accredited center of excellence, and has received numerous awards for cardiac arrest saves. After we re-implemented, not only was the focus on completing the task, but making sure that they understood the importance not only of the implementation, but adoption in the post-launch environment. And so that was the implementation, a four-seater, something that could have, took my career in a different direction, because we had failed. But lo and behold, it ended up taking us in a positive light, to where I grew from that implementation the confidence to walk into mega centers and implement just about anything. For me, it actually fostered a love and a desire for customer success and implementing that I thought I had. But to see what that agency is doing now and the lives saved and the people impacted, it has just impacted me in a way that I've had a drive since that implementation that is unexplainable.